Good morning, everybody. This is Richard back at you. We got Miss Teresa on the camera. We got little Annie hanging out again, like always. And boy, has it been busy around here, huh, Teresa? Well, we've got our 06 Dodge done, 48 RE tranny. A lot of nice pieces went into it. Turned out really nice. Customer hopefully going to pick it up today. But now we got another one here, a 99 model. It's going to be a job. But anyway, tranny's got a noise, whining noise in first gear. Four-wheel drive, 4L80E, 6.0 motor, 2500 HD. So pretty cool little truck. I mean, runs really good with a 6.0 in it.
And so with that being said, you know that this truck stays out in the field constantly.
It does. That's what I was going to show you.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah. What I'm fixing to actually go through to get this unit out. 290,000 miles, actually. That's how many miles this thing's gone on. He says it's original. And what it looks like, it's original. For sure.
And it
hopefully you can see in here.
Yeah, I can see.
I don't have my little flashlight on.
No, I can see really good without that flashlight. Yes, I don't need it.
I just want to make sure you can see it by the bell housing.
Oh, I can see.
This thing is covered, guys. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
This is what I'm talking about. That dust cover comes off. I don't know where the bolts are, but the dust cover comes off. And you come over and look at this side. Now you gotta remember.
Oh, sorry.
This is a field truck. Stays out in the field all the time.
Checking cattle.
Yep, it actually got some green stuff up in there somewhere. Yeah, right there. See it? That's called cow. That's called good old Texas cow manure.
And you said who's coming out here to help you?
Actually, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna put a tarp down on the floor. I know it's gonna make a mess. Once you start hitting it with an impact.
Yeah.
You can see here I've already PB blasted every piece that's gonna have to come off, because this whole driver's side of the exhaust pipe has got to come off, and I don't want to have to cut it. It'd be a tough place to cut, because being this frame right here is not going to come out. We're going to have to dip the transfer case out. It's just I'm not going to be able to have to stick it on a jack and bring it straight down. We're going to have to dip it out and bring it out. So a little rougher job there being my shoulder, but Cody can come over. I can grab Teresa, or my son 2 blocks away, or my daughter 2 blocks away. We got plenty of help around here. I say being retired, working out here, they're all at work too. So, but anyway. Transmission. Oh yeah. Also, we're going to be putting front axles in it.
Oh goodness, yeah. Little attention, huh?
You've been leaking a while. So he wanted to get all that taken care of. Now we will be putting a rear main seal and cover on this 6.0. We don't just replace the rear seal. We always do the cover and gasket seal. And then of course also on the transfer case, we're going to be replacing the input seal there.
Probably will need a mount.
Going to look here. This one here is seeping too. So we'll get a seal kit coming from Transtar, Raymond over there, when I get on my parts order today. We're going to get this out, get it tore down, because today being Friday, I need to get everything ordered. And actually, they delivered my parts on Saturday. It's pretty cool. So we're really excited about that. We have a BNI torque converter coming today. We're going to be using that. Really nice converter there. And we're fixing to get to work, huh, Annie? And it's hot. It is very hot here today. It's going to be almost 100.
And that makes that stink a lot worse.
Yes. So I'll tell you, this Dodge truck right here, it had some hay in the back. And it rained the other day, and flies hatched in it. And I drove it inside, and I come into the shop the other morning, and there was 5 million baby flies on the floor. I mean, they're still scattered. You can see them here. Little baby flies are everywhere. See that little fly? They're everywhere. I took the air blower and tried to get them out, and I mean, they're just dead everywhere. Had to bomb it. Actually, 6 cans of bomb in here to kill all the flies, and then come back the next day and they were still in here. So it helped, but I had to live with them for a little while. Well, anyway, we'll get this out, get it on the bitch, and we'll be back shortly. Okay, we got our transmission out of the 99 model Chevy 2500 6.0 motor, 4-wheel drive. Kind of had to dig it out. You know them farm trucks. Get you all covered up.
And it wasn't no fun.
It was not.
I got dirty. He's got the floor cleaned up, you guys. Y'all are lucky.
Yes. Got the axle changed. We got the rear main seal and cover replaced. New gasket over here on the oil cooler adapter. New axle here.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been going right along, let me tell you. We have been tooling right along. This is the pile. We had issues getting the torque converter bolts out. You can look here, Teresa. This is the rear main seal and cover. You can see how long. I said 290,000 on this thing. We never just changed the seal. We always change the seal and cover and gasket, because a lot of times these leak right here. See how this falls apart? Falls apart here, it leaks out the side, runs down the side like that, and you think it's the rear main seal.
Well, and not only that, it costs as much to do the whole assembly as it does just to replace the seal. We ran into that when we were
at our shop. Yeah, and it's easier to put the cover on than it is just put the seal in by itself. Also, neutral safety switch. Well, you know how these are, guys. The connectors had issues. Something about the grease had a chemical reaction with the connector, so it melted the connectors in. So you have to basically bust them out, because you can't pull them out without destroying the connector. But if you bust it out, you can get it out, and then of course we have a new one sitting here we'll be putting back on. Does that one look a little healthier, Teresa?
Well, that one looks really big compared to that one. So
I think it's got a little dirt on it.
No doubt.
But also, we had to, I tried not to whack the flywheel. This year here has the really cheap torque converter bolts. There's no, let me get one. I don't know how many years they did this, but they put an Allen head in here. The new one's got an Allen head, but it's also, you can put a socket on it where you see you can't the other ones. I heated them up with a torch, and I could not get them loose. Ended up messing up one of them, couldn't get it out. So of course that's the one I ended up messing up, couldn't get it out, and had to whack it. So we had to put a new flywheel on. We have a mess there. Of course, here's the axle. It sounded really good. And you can, knuckle. I can get it out of this. It's heavy. Crazy. I think that knuckle looks kind of bad. Yeah. So we put one new axle in it. Flywheel, rear main seal cover, neutral safety switch, all that. I mean, just everything basically, huh?
Yeah. And this is still going to be, you might need to wear eyewear.
Yeah, definitely, huh?
Because I don't want to be up there.
Now, come to find out, we did the transfer case many years ago. The tranny physically has never been out of the vehicle since it's been new. 290,000 miles on this truck, unbelievable.
Correct.
But for our ladies, I mean, they last if you take care of them.
Mm-hmm. We
have our, what we call our input speed sensor, and we have our output speed sensor here. If it was a two-wheel drive, there'd be another one right here. Being a four-wheel drive, it doesn't have it. Got 3 of them on the transfer case. Now, sometimes these will have the reluctor in here for it, and then sometimes they won't. You can look here, pull this one out. See the reluctor? Let me see if it turns. See that?
Yeah.
Well, this one here doesn't have it. If it's a two-wheel drive, it would have one here. It would have a real sensor here and a real sensor here, and it would count both of them.
So that's kind of like a dummy.
Yeah, if you have a Planet that has the reluctor on there, you can put it in there still, and it will fit, and you just put a dummy here. Now, being that this is a four-wheel drive, we do have a plug right here. We do have an open hole. We have a seal here. Even though being a four-wheel drive, there's still oil right through here in this adapter in here. Now, if it was a two-wheel drive, you would have a different plug in here, but the plug would have a hole in it and a seal, and it would seal the tail housing to the back of the tranny, and then it would have pressurized oil going to the tail housing bushing. This is the only unit that I can think of that has pressure going to the tail housing bushing. So, but you do have a seal here to keep it contained. That way it'll pressure up here to lubricate the bushing in the back. You can see here, now this does have a cooler line in the front and the rear. You can see the earlier ones had one here. We had a cooler line here and here. The later ones, they moved the cooler line here, did a lot of changes in the barrel of the tranny to move lubrication oil around. But let me show you. You could put that there, might bottom out in there and plug the hole off. You cannot put that there. This has to go in here. There's a seal in here that it gets into the center support. There's a gap in between here. If you put this here, the oil would fall out the bottom and never reach the support to pressurize the unit on the inside to lubricate everything. We had one come in here one time. They must have pulled this out and the seal was in the pan, and this was just stuck in an open hole. It didn't kill everything in the tranny, but you can definitely tell that it didn't have the right pressure lubricating everything in there. You can see here we have all kinds of fluid in the plug. We just did a Dodge diesel this weekend, fluid in the plug. You can see here we kind of messed it up, but B&I still should be able to come in here and probably clean that up, get that bolt out of there and still use this as a core. If you look here at this converter here, the fins, if you notice, are facing to the right a little bit. This could be a B82. The B82s always thought had a little bit deeper depth in here. But if you notice here, we went with one, the fins are a little bit farther to the left. This is a little bit lower stall converter because this gentleman pulls a horse trailer, he pulls cows, he pulls all kinds of stuff. So we really didn't want to put a real high stall converter in this thing because then it really wouldn't, the converter would get hot, we'd have heating issues, all kinds of stuff. And our goal is for this unit to run really cool. Of course, you know, B&I is our favorite guys to go for converters. There's a B81 right here. They make a B82, which is the higher stall unit. I haven't even looked in the pan on this yet.
What did he say it was doing?
It's noisy.
Oh.
It's not noisy. It whines. Not a pump whine. It's like a gear train whine. So I just, like I said, I don't know what it's going to look like in here. Actually, that's pretty good.
Yeah, surprised not to see more metal.
Yeah, really, me too. But like I said, these 290,000. This thing is, it's got some wear. Look at the front seal, guys. Look at that there. I'm shocked it wasn't pouring out the front with that type of dirt in there. Like I said, this truck lives on a farm. It never sees.
But I guarantee you, we serviced this transmission when we did that transfer case.
Oh, definitely, because it's got a cork gasket on it. But how many miles ago did we do the transfer case in the service?
Well, I don't remember.
We have our lockup O-ring right here. Ain't much left of it. It's pretty flat. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it really ain't a round O-ring no more. It's flat.
Yeah.
Should be round. That way it sticks out really good. That way it can seal inside the converter. When they start shrinking right here and get below this ledge, then they start leaking all the way around the seal, and the next thing you know, converter burns up. But look at that seal. That thing's got enough dirt to...
Yeah, you're going to have fun with that today.
If you notice, they do make a deep pan and a shallow pan on these. The deep pan has legs on the bottom of the filter. That way it holds the filter up in there since the pan's deeper. The shallow filter has no legs. If you put a shallow filter in a deep pan, the filter will come out of the neck and fall to the pan. It takes the legs to hold it up in there with a deep pan. And a deep filter, you cannot put a shallow pan on a deep filter. You can't get the pan on. There'll be that much gap. Actually, I think I seen one come in one time. They did.
Yeah,
and it smashed everything.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Common mistake.
Mm-hmm. We have our lockup solenoid here. We have our pressure control solenoid here. Now this did have a pillow switch code, which our parts won't be here until tomorrow on everything that's coming in. I wanted to really get this kind of apart to see if I'm going to need anything else when I order parts. But this physically had a code for this, but you got to remember it did have fluid in the connector, so that could cause a code for this. But you're not going to take no chances. We're going to replace this no matter what. $290,000. There's just no telling. Don't want no issues. Like I said, this thing lives on a dirt road, and it's not going to ever come back to town. Now this is what we call our lube tube right here. When they added the cooler line, moved it to the rear, they had to add a lube tube right here to lubricate the rear case bushing and the tail housing bushing. That's that pressurized part I was talking about to lubricate the rear tail housing bushing. Now we had a customer come in one time. They got it in here, but they misstabbed it right here. They just stuck it over to the side. They didn't get it down in that hole.
I remember that.
You remember that video, Teresa?
Yep.
And it tried to spin the case bushing, turn the tail housing bushing purple, all that stuff. You can see they missed that hole right there. They got it. So it was getting a little bit in there, but it just wasn't getting enough. Now we do have a temp sensor right here. We have our A and B solenoid right here. You can't get these mixed up. The plugs are different. Plus you can't bolt them up. The mounting spot is one tab's longer than the other tab. Temp sensor here. Once that starts happening, it's junk. The connector, you got to clean it out really good. Get all the transmission fluid and stuff out of it. Now, these are 8mm bolts. They are a little bit longer than the other ones. Now, this is definitely the early style pillow switch. Normally they have the later ones have a protective cover right through here. That way trash can't get in here and short these out. But these are little micro switches. I can push on them and I can feel them click, click, click. That's our detent spring. Click, click, click. You can see all the check balls in here. Got plenty of them. These trains are bad about eating the plate up, the check balls are. So you really want to get in here and look at your plate and verify that, you know, you can see where the check balls start beating it out there, right through here. We definitely want to put a new plate in here. Now, we always put an SK shift kit in these too. Just a must in all of them. I like the SK kit for one reason. One of the reasons is it has an overpressure built into it that you do some drilling and add a little valve and a spring and stuff. Because these trains are bad about having pressure problems. and that just has a blow off now you put in there that keeps it from breaking drums and blowing seals and all kinds of stuff. Of course, you have your accumulator springs here. Seal here, seal here. Always Scotch-Brite this area up through here the best you can. Gives it a lot better sliding area. Same way with in here. Make sure the pins don't wobble. Take the seal off, stick it in there too, and see if the piston wobbles. Make sure your inside bore ain't wore out. This one here don't have an inside bore so much, so. I spiced myself in the face. Did I get you?
Yeah, you got me too.
The shift kit tells you to drill a few holes for your second gear shift, your third gear shift, your fourth gear shift. And I do that on all of these because these trannies really, to me, shift really soft. And I think just giving them that little bit of 10 thousandths or whatever on the plate there just makes it feel so much better. Now we are going to be putting a lockup valve in here, Sonex lockup valve that's got the Teflon ring on it. We're also going to be putting a Sonex lube valve in the pump, PR valve. This is I showed this one time before, but this is a good one right here. A lot of people don't know this seal right here exists. You can pull that pin out. And right down in here, there's an O-ring. And when that O-ring gets hard, it starts leaking by, it starts causing issues. And it's a must on every one you do. Come on.
Might be a little trash in there.
I got it cocked just a tiny bit. You don't want to be forceful on anything. You want to just slow down and say, okay, we're going to get this. Stop, wiggle it, because it should come out with really no effort at all. Okay. Of course, you have a check ball. Check ball goes in the middle. The pin does not go through the hole. It does not go through like that. Part of the shift kit you're going to do to this valve body, over here in your manual valve, the pin goes through the hole on the new piece that comes with the shift kit. It does not go out on the end. With this here, the pin goes out on the end. You do not want to put it there. And of course, like I said, there's your little tiny O-ring. Get it off. It's hard as a rock. Yeah, better. I say when this O-ring shrinks, and that's when you start having problems. But like I said, a lot of people don't know that O-ring's there. Put it over here in the little special D department. Get that out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
There's our adapter. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Yeah, you showed it to him.
I do like the new. I wish I had one here to show you. I'll try to take a picture of one and put it in my link or on our YouTube channel still. About the new servo cover that Sonex makes now to adjust your reverse band. Makes it so easy to do. A lot of people don't even adjust their band. They just throw it together. But you can buy this. And every one of the units should have one in there now. They're not very expensive. I think they're $300 something. They make one for the 400 tranny and they make one for the 4080E. So you have to get on the internet and type in Sonex 400 rear servo or 4080 rear servo, and it's a blue cover, and it comes with multiple pieces. Every tranny ought to have it in there. Two seals here. All the seals are hard. You want to make sure this pin doesn't wobble in this cover, or in this piston, I mean. Nice and tight. Got a seal here. Scotch-Brite this up really good. That way your new seal has somewhere to run nice. How loose that is in there, that even with a seal on it. It tells you how much that seal's wore out. Scotch-Brite this up in here and here. You got your engine brake servo here. Make sure the same way. If it leaks around here and it wobbles, you can put a new seal on it. It's still going to leak. So, have all of our check balls. If you notice, it looks like you could put a check ball right there. Watch this. Look how pretty that looks. Looks just as good as that one and that one. So don't put one there. It does not take a check ball there. And if you look here at the plate, Teresa, this is what will get you. It's got two holes like it takes a check ball. See?
Yeah.
Like the rest of them. But there is no check ball that goes there.
Okay, y'all heard him.
Well, I'm just saying.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Oh, don't tell me. Yeah, that's my bad socket. If you look at this bolt compared to a 400 center port bolt, the 400 bolt is a lot shorter. This will not go that way. The 400 one will not go this way. You have to stay with what you got. Then you got your overdrive support bolt here, which is a hollow bolt too. These bolts are hollow. What do I do with it? This socket over there.
No, it's over there.
Did I throw it over here?
Yes.
Oh, there it is. Excuse me. It's a hollow bolt. Fluid goes down through there, just like fluid goes down through this bolt here. This is like an aluminum bolt, so you got to be careful when you torque it. You can pop the head right off of it. The shift kit you get will come with a steel bolt.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Why is that aluminum, and why is that one?
And I don't know if it's aluminum or not. No, it's actually steel.
Oh, it's steel.
But it's cheap.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Okay.
It's cheap.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if there was something special about it.
No, it's just that cheap.
Okay.
They break real easy. This is ugly, huh?
Very.
You can see here when I pulled that bolt out how fluid run out of that bolt. That's why I always double seal these bolts. I change the seal and put a little bit of sealant on there. You're always going to see that down in this area right here because the fluid goes through the pump in this area, and it does go through the pump and the case on this side too for the cooler line. See? But you won't see it as much over through here, the dry. But you're going to see it through here. That's why you always want to double seal your pump bolts. It's bad when you put one in and one leaks somehow. We're keeping our fingers crossed with 290,000 miles that we're not having to replace a whole lot of crazy stuff. You know, servicing it, good fluid, stuff like that, you can take transmissions apart and everything looks brand new. But if you don't service them, you can take them apart and everything looks like junk. Actually, I seen on a video the other day where a guy was asking where this little thing went. He found it laying on the bench. or on his at home in his garage. He was putting the 480 back together the first time. It fits in that little hole right there, like that, and a bolt goes through it. Just like that.
What's it for?
I'm not sure if that's your vent circuit. I'd have to follow it around and see.
Oh, I see.
But it's up high. It's probably into your vent circuit, and your vent hose is up here. So it keeps it from splashing up into there and then coming out. Gator looks really nice through here. I mean, there's nowhere there. But good fluid does. And this farmer, he uses all Tractor Supply stuff. So, and you know, Tractor Supply really has some good stuff, oils and all that type of stuff. See a little bit of wear here on the pump. Converter was going in pretty good. Could have went in maybe a little bit farther, but it was actually going in really nice. I'm going to look right here. That's where the issues gets to be right there. You can see staining, but I can't feel that even with my glove on. But if I take my glove off, I might be able to feel something with my fingers.
Yeah, it looks like there's something.
Anytime you have a rear lube style transmission with the clear lines in the back, how you identify the pump is that little mark right there. See that little channel through there going into that little trough? That pump has to have that. Now they do make a kit to retro an early style pump to put it in this late model version. They make a kit for it, but if you got a late version, your pump better have that.
Yeah, we don't want to get crazy or nothing.
Huh?
We don't want to get crazy or nothing with that fluid.
No. Tightened these the other day.
At least they don't stink.
No, it actually doesn't, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. It's not burned up. We're just going in for a whine, you know, looking for bearings possibly, anything like that. Because it starts going away in second gear. And this has straight cut planets in it, which I don't think they put straight cut planets in this one. Now this is the input shaft right here. Slides into your overdrive planet. So there's a lot of force on this area right through here. Anytime we do these, especially in a hauling situation like this, we like to go with a different input shaft. The intermediate shaft on these are solid. They're not a hollow design like the 400s or the early style when the cooler lines are up close to the front. So the intermediate shaft isn't critical, but the input shaft is. So we do have a new billet Sonex input shaft here that we're going to be putting in this. That way we know for a fact that we're not going to twist the input shaft off with, you know, 20 or 30, 40 cattle or whatever he's got in the back of that truck and that trailer.
Hay bale.
Hay bale. Oh yeah,
hay bales are heavy.
He hauls big hay bales too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to look at, you know, your gears, make sure there's no wobbling or the thrust washers are gone or where this bushing runs. Check your splines down here. See, when we clean this stuff up is when it really gets to eyeballing. Now this is the first design. It's crazy since this hasn't been into being that it's a 99. They just started swapping over stuff from the rear cooler line, or excuse me, from the front dual cooler lines to the rear cooler line, and then to the overdrive assembly right here. This area right here, this roller clutch assembly has been changed to a lot different design, a really tiny design, little tiny rollers. If you got time, let me go grab one. You're going to go, oh, wow, why would they do that? Even in a lot of the race car ones, they switched from the late version back to the early style version because it just so much stronger. Hold on, I got one of these handy, and I might not have one just right. Oh, here's no. Darn it. Yeah, sorry guys, I don't have one right up here handy to show you. I was hoping I did. But like I say, it's a lot smaller. The rollers are really tiny. So it takes a different drum here. This plan is different. All this is different. But it will, you can retro them back and forth. They didn't change the forward drum or anything right here. So if you're building a race car style unit, you want this style roller clutch in there. The earlier version is a lot weaker. Of course, you can see here the coast clutch is gone. There's just no clutch material. I was shocked to see this. I didn't look at the pan, how clean the pan was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing left of these here. The seals are bad. Top hat, you can see. So the temperature started going all the way through the top hat.
Mm-hmm.
This thing here, we replaced 99.9% of these drums right here because there's wear on this small gear right here. You want to look on this side and this side for wear. If you see any pitting or any pulling on the gear or anything like that, replace that. New bushings. And we have our overdrive clutch here. Now, that's where that hollow bolt screwed into. I showed you a minute ago. That wherever I threw it at, screws into here. Yeah, right here. And fluid goes through this bolt to apply that clutch. Okay. So it don't take much. And basically this bolt right here is the only thing that keeps that from spinning. You do have this top hat right here that does hook into a lug that helps it keep from spinning too. But when you put the snap ring in, it goes in between the two lugs, which is the only way it's going to go, but you never know. Of course, you got this right here, see it locks into that pin. Helps keep this unit from spinning.
Looks a little toasty.
Mm-hmm. And then you got this piece. This snap ring's held in by these pieces right here on the spring. Okay, but you gotta push it down, get under it. Push it down. That way it goes by it. See that? And then you have these two pistons. You have a seal here, a seal here. These ain't too bad to put back together. I'm gonna have to do a video on it. I can usually do it in just 5 seconds by holding it just like that and working it with my this thing here. Normally you can just go around it, you know, a few times. That's how I tried it last time and it wouldn't work. But these are so slippery. But that works really well on getting that back in there. And then set it on top of a 4L60E shell. And then put this on while it's sitting on the shells and when it stays together. So here's the bearing here. We're going to have all new bearings put in this. But the main thing is you want to look at these ring gears. That's where that Planet runs. Okay, you can have good looking gears, but if you have wear on the ring gear, you could have a whine. So you want to look at that really good. 99% of the time we have to put a new forward drum in it too, because we have bushing wear and the input shaft rubs on the drum. So basically, when you get bushing wear through here, it lets this shaft with these two sealing rings right here rub in here. And you see there's a feed hole. Well, that's one seal's here, the other seal's on the other side of that hole. So once this shaft starts touching, it wipes that out right there, and then you have a forward clutch leak because that's where your forward clutch applies. So you want to look at that really good. If there's anywhere at all, chunk it. Get a new one. This is your forward clutch hub here. You want to look here for wear. Now this one here is a good one. It is the hardened. Hear that ring? Some of the earlier versions had a soft one, like in the 400s. When you tap it, it just thud, thud, thud. There's no ring to it. So, and also you look here, see the grooves in it? That's how oil flows from the rear of the transmission towards the front through them grooves. Because remember, the shafts are solid on this transmission, so all the oil moves through the bushings and through splines to get to its destination. You do have a plastic one here. Your washer kit will come with a brass one like this, right there. You want to check those splines though, because your intermediate shaft right here does spline in right here. Okay. Of course, we have bonded pistons. The seals are made to the piston on the drums here. You got your high clutch here. They're just about, I mean, they've been in there. They got some days. Start to see some chatter marks. Then those chatter marks and stuff. We do have a wave. If you take the wave out of this unit, you're going to have a harsh reverse, no matter how you look at it. You know, we're going to firm up third gear anyway. So us leaving the wave in there to soften, keep the reverse engagement the way it should be, we can still make third gear shift really firm, leaving the cushion wave in there. Like I talked about, drilling these holes for your second gear feed. Turn it where it's supposed to be. Like I can't remember if that's second, third, and fourth, but like I say, drilling these holes out makes a big difference. Just read your shift kit. And sometimes them shift kits don't even have hole drilling instructions. You might have to go find somebody else's shift kit and look for it and drill it to their size or something like that. But leave the wave in there. That way when he puts it in reverse, he don't jar his teeth. Because, I mean, when you leave it out, you're going to know it. And we have a sprag assembly here. If you had a roller clutch, when you turn this, it would squeak. It'd go, reed, reed, reed. Well, don't do that. It flows smoothly. Now, this does have a spiral ring lock snap ring that holds this on. The earlier design just had a regular snap ring. The snap ring was bad about opening up and coming off and exposing all the goodies inside here. And this is the way they got away from it. You do have to, the lock has to get in this groove right here. It makes it unlock so much easier. Here, there's another one right here. If you get it in there, it lets it come over it and come out. So the same way, when you put it back together, you want to line that lock up with that groove right there and then spin it to the other one, lock it, and then turn it a little bit. That way it has no way to coming out. You want to look through here, make sure these ain't about to strip off. If they strip out, this will start spinning when it's supposed to stay stationary. Take the snap ring out. Okay. On this intermediate race right here, if you're doing a 4-clutch 400, you have to have this race. This drum actually will go right in a 400 transmission, the whole drum. Okay, but when you go with a 4-clutch like this one is, a 400 is a 3-clutch. The fourth clutch will hang off the edge. So you have to use the thicker race if you're doing a 4-clutch on a 400. So, and like I said, here's your sprag assembly. Now you remember, this one's free spun to the right. lock to the left. If you put it in backwards, it'll freeload to the free spin to the left, lock to the right. So you don't want to get that mixed up. You want to make sure that it spins to the right, locks to the left. There is a washer on both sides. You can see the other one right here. The main thing is when you get these off, you want to check this race right here for any chattering where this sprag has been jumping. If it looks nice and good, Scotch Brite it up, put your new sprag on there, everything else new, you'll be good to go. Now, being that this is a later version, they did go with a wider band. A thin band will fit in there, but a wide band is what it did come out with. This wide band will go backwards if you want to put it backwards. If you notice, they got the opening of the snap ring right in this area right here. I don't like that. I like to move the opening of the snap ring away from that area. In other words, I like to put it in like that. I like to have the whole snap ring over this area. Keeps from breaking the lugs off right here. They do make a kit when you do a race application and you're doing away with this band. You knock this pin out and you bolt in a piece right here that pushes on the snap ring right here. That way it keeps from breaking these lugs. But this, you can really make this tranny shift really firm in second gear. Now you notice we do have a 4-clutch like I was talking about, and you do have a wave here. I mean, when I build this back, both waves are going in it, and then I'm going to modify my plate to get my shift feel. If you leave this wave out, you're always going to have a firm shift. You don't know whether to drill the hole. Try this first, but I leave the wave in, and then I drill my hole because it's a lot better feeling, firmer gear. It's not such a bang. You don't get the go around a corner and let off the gas and it shifts and it just knocks your teeth out. You know what I mean? But if you give it gas and take off, it's still going to have a nice firm shift to it. So, pretty simple. If you see here too, the bevel snap ring, they got both openings, or the opening here where it can break the snap ring off. So,
but isn't that funny, because this unit's never been through, so this is something that it came that
dealer,
way. Right.
Like I said, at the dealer, they throw them together too.
Sure.
I mean, but you know, and it is a bevel snap ring. It's flat on this side, bevel on this. Just turn it when you put it in. They do not make a piece right here to hold this snap that bolts in here to hold it, because there's no room for it once you get the clutches and stuff. It covers it up so you can't get to it anyway. And plus, on this snap ring here, there's no force of it being trying to be blowed out as much. You know, it's the only thing is trying to push it out is you on and off the gas, kinda. Now you do have a thin snap ring right here. Same way, don't put the opening there, turn it. But they make a thick and thin center support right here. If you have a thick, you don't have no snap ring. If you have a thin, you have a snap ring that this sets on. Okay. This is your cooler line fitting I was talking about. Once that goes in there, all your lubrication oil coming out of your cooler, your nice cool oil, is going in this circuit right here and being distributed all the way to the back and front. Okay. Got your sealing rings. Your overhaul kit's going to come with this type of sealing ring, or it's going to come with a stretch and shrink sealing ring. See how this is a locking style? I like these quite a bit. The ones you have to stretch and shrink down, I mean, they work too, but you know, after many years, they don't keep stretching. They don't know when there's wear. So, but these, since, you know, will have wear because of the force of it being pushed out. I got that one. Okay. Okay, we got this piece right here. The earlier design and the early design on this and the 400 transmission, These bushings were solid bushings. They had no grooves. See that groove? See that groove? Those grooves are totally gone on that side. If you look here, there's groove there, groove there, groove there, but they're almost gone too. And what those grooves are in there for, that's how the lube system works. The oil goes through the bushings and moves all the way from this rear right here, going through here, travels through this part, goes through holes here, goes through a hole here, travels all the way down these bushings to lubricate everything. This bushing right here is different too. They changed that bushing up when they went to the cooler line. They moved the cooler line to the rear. So if you put solid bushings in here, you're going to stop your lubrication right dead in its tracks right there. So you want to make sure you put the right stuff in. Okay. Now this bearing right here, these races have lips on them. See that? And you got your bearing, and then this sets like that. Okay. You want to look at these races and look for any pitting. The bearings too. Right there. This sets in there like that. Okay. But one little bearing can cause a whine when it's a load bearing. In other words, when you have a gear pushing something against it. Since you have a load on this gear, it's an angle cut. It's going to cause this gear to go forwards or backwards, depending on if you're in reverse or drive. If you have a straight cut, then it's just going to roll freely, whether you let off the gas, go forward or backwards. It's just going to roll. There's no load on it. Okay. Uh-oh. We got some heat going on somewhere. Look at that.
It's growing. It looks like it's got air.
There you go, Teresa.
Wow.
Okay. This is our lower sun gear. This is a special sun gear. It's different than your 400, and it's different from your early 4L80. If you notice, we go back to the grooves again. And what that is to let oil go through to get to the bush forward. If you put a 400 one in here, it does not have those. And when you put that up there, it plugs your lube circuit off and oil stops right there. Same way with your bushings. Same way with that. They make this hub with no slots in it. If you put one in there, you stopped your oil right there. You do have a brass washer right here. They do have plastic ones. They do have metal. Now this here's a reverse band down there. I mean, it's just old. Is it just wore plumb out? Pretty dang close. I mean, just by looking at the material, how it's pitted and just coming flaking, you can just see it. Real gritty looking. And of course, we have another roller clutch here. Just remember, your spring always pushes your roller uphill. If you notice, uphill. See? Uphill. So when you stick that in there, the spring is pushing the roller up the hill. That's with all of them. This here too. The spring pushes the roller up the hill. Okay. On this Planetary here, same way, you want to look, see if they're wobbling. See how much of your load washer is gone, missing, or whatever. You want to make sure these pins don't move. These pins are bad about moving and rubbing on this washer right here. Since this washer runs right here in the middle like this, if this pin comes up, it starts shaving off a quarter of this, or an eighth of an inch of this washer all the way around. So, and when we go back with this one, we're actually going to put a brass washer in there and get rid of the plastic anyway. But what we do is we make sure these pins haven't moved, and if they have moved, and even if they have or haven't, it doesn't matter, we will TIG weld this pin right here. That way it can never happen again. But this is a common problem, pins moving. You can see here we have a metal thrust washer. Now if you, metal thrust washer, 4-tap plastic, same washer. Same washer. Fits right in there. Okay. So all you got to do is get 2 of them, put one metal in there, throw your plastic one away. Okay. If you look here on, where did it go? Here's your reluctor that it was counting. And then this one here has normally a reluctor would be pressed on right here where it's shiny for the rear sensor. But since it's a 4-wheel drive, we don't have that happening. Okay. If you're messing with a 400, some of their snap rings that hold this together right here are beveled. But all the 4L80s were just a flat snap ring. Okay. Of course, you have a bearing here. You got a race you want to look at. Some of the bearings on the 400s and will only be every other bearing. So you want to find a bearing that has all the bearings and put it back in there. They will retrofit, but like I said, GM did get cheap there for a little while. Remember we talked about the lube circuit again? See them holes? If you notice, this washer has little tabs on it that'll plug that hole, but it always keeps one open. No matter where you turn it, it always keeps them open. See that? Well, if you put a 400 one, and if you look at the bearing, see it's the same way. If you put a 400 bearing in here that has a solid round race in the middle, and you set it down on there, you just plugged up all your lube holes coming back here to lubricate this bushing. If you notice, look here. There's our grooves again. That's the only way you're going to get oil back to this bushing back here, because the intermediate shaft is solid. On the 400 and the early model, intermediate shafts are hollow. Fluid goes down through the shafts. Well, on this late version, when they move the cooler line to the rear, everything goes down the bushings. Okay, that's why I was telling you we're going to put a Sonex billet forward shaft in there, because there's no sense in replacing the intermediate when it's a solid steel shaft. Now, if you're going to a twin turbo 2,000 horsepower or something like that, yeah, let's throw an intermediate shaft in it. But this is where we're at. So, new bearings and all that type of stuff. Oh, well, you remember me? I was talking about a wind. You want to look at these ring gears. Really critical for any type of wear on both sides of the teeth, because this is a loaded gear. You give it gas, the load goes one direction. You let off the gas, the load goes back. So if you look here, all it takes is one bearing right there to cause a wind. That pin, that bearing is smoked in there. That's why we had a melted thrust washer, because that thrust washer was setting over that pin when that pin is smoked. Like I said, in first gear it had a wind. Oh heck, that gear just, can you see that gear just wobble? I mean, it just, I can't show you. But that gear wobbles like crazy. These gloves are slippery. But we're looking at some planets, some bushings. Well, you see, everything I showed you, what we're going to do, it's a lot of work. Definitely a lot of work. But at least it didn't smell bad, huh, Teresa?
Well, at the beginning, from,
just a little bit.
The cow poo-poo.
Yeah. Let me tell you guys, that was a job to get out. But like I said, when we get this done, get all the Sonex pieces in here and get it back in, it's going to be a really nice unit. Got plenty more to go. But anyway, we want to thank you guys.
And you only have to order parts once because now we know exactly what it needs.
Exactly what we. Because a lot of times I when I order parts for this stuff, I kind of got a general idea, so I just order everything I already know.
But that Dodge,
that Dodge needs a lot.
Yeah,
it needs a lot. Same way with this. I mean, it needs quite a bit of stuff too, but nothing that we can't handle. Hey, go check out our merch store, huh, Teresa? We do have a lot of things on there. It does help. We want to thank Miss Teresa for recording. We want to thank everybody for the support, for watching all of our videos and stuff. And sorry it takes so long, but it's just me and Teresa and Annie hanging out, and we're still getting it done. Have a great day.